out of all the cars that I own, for some reason I buy a new RS3, which is probably the nicest car I've ever owned, and it gets more hate than any car that there is. And it's all superficial, but I figured out where it's coming from. An influencer, an Audi influencer, made a video talking about all the bad things of the new Audi. Well, I understand those things, but I'm here to tell you about the good things. So, the number one complaint is the grille, which I understand. I'll agree with you guys on this one. This grille is horrendous, but it also doesn't have the RS badge. And people say that that's blasphemy, like it should have an RS badge. Well, if you need a badge to tell you that this is an RS, probably not really a car guy. So people absolutely hate this steering wheel. It's flat on the top and on the bottom. The logo changed. There's no buttons and people say it looks cheap. I get it. But do you really think that Audi forgot how to build a performance car just because they changed the steering wheel? People also don't like the overall interior of this car. One of my commenters said it looks like the interior of a Ford van. And a lot of people said it looks cheap. Personally, I don't really see it. This is actually one of the nicest Audi interiors I've ever been in. Another big complaint is too quiet. It's definitely quieter than the last one, but blame emission standards, blame sound regulations, probably blame politicians the most. But let's be honest, you're not gonna leave this car stock. A lot of people have said the body styling looks just like an A3. This one I don't understand. Look at this. Look at this fender gap, or this fender vent here. It's wide. Anyways, those are the things that people complain about. This is the best RS3 ever made. Let me show you why. The number one reason that this RS3 doesn't get the credit it deserves, it's really not just a facelift. There's a lot of changes to it. First of all, this is the fastest RS3 ever built. It beat the last 8Y generation around the Nürburgring by 7 seconds, which if you're a real car guy, you understand how crazy that is. So it's fast. So this is a big change. This is on both the 8Y and the 8.5Y is what we'll call it. They have staggered fitment. It's actually reverse stagger. So the front has a 9.5-inch rim with a 265/30. The back has a 8.5-inch rim with a 245/30. Now, it's not because it's front wheel biased and they want more traction in the front. They're actually fixing the problem that you guys have complained about with Audi for the last 30 years. Audi steer. So they understeer terribly. So by having narrower wheels in the rear, it helps the rear rotate and turns and you get less understeer. So it handles far better than it used to. And they finally fixed the problem. But you guys still found something to complain about. So it may be quieter because they had more emission standards, but they did add some carbon fiber to it. At the end of the day, it is still a 5-cylinder turbo engine. No other manufacturer is making a 5-cylinder, pretty much just Audi at this point. And it kind of sounds like half of an R8 or half of a Huracan. You guys know what I'm talking about, that little rumble. It is the only car in its class doing that. And I think it's pretty cool. While a lot of you guys think this is the worst RS3 ever built, they actually are the best spec ones that we've ever had so far. Sure, the grille might be ugly, I agree. They came with matrix headlights. It's a big deal. If you've ever driven with those at night, basically everybody else on the road hates you because you're blinding them. We also got a ton of carbon fiber. So we got the carbon fiber ducts. We got carbon ceramic brakes on the front. So they only did the front because it's going to save you money, but also you don't really need the rear. The front does like 70% of the braking anyways. You also got carbon mirrors, carbon side skirts. In the interior, you get an Alcantara steering wheel, which I already showed you guys the steering wheel. You get CarPlay, all kinds of features. This car is actually overwhelming. It has so much technology in it. And of course, you can't forget the red stitching and the red seat belts. Carbon side skirts, we already got those. It does have regular steel brakes in the rear, but It also came with these are P0R tires. So they came with the Trofeo tires, which is the one that it set the record on. This is kind of the middle ground. It's like almost the art comp, but not really. Of course, you got the dynamic and matrix taillights. Actually, I don't know that they're called matrix, but you know what I mean. Carbon wing, carbon diffuser. This one has the sport exhaust on it. Like I said, nobody cares. We're gonna get rid of that anyways. So in the interior, I forgot because it's daytime. The RS3 here lights up, but there's also an RS door light that shines down on the ground when you open the door. You can't really see it at all because, oh yeah, and it has ambient lighting here and in the center, so you can change the color. Like mine's pink right now, you can change it to whatever color you want. There's a couple little changes down here. One, there's a wireless phone charger down here, which actually fits the larger iPhones. Granted, mine's never down there because it never leaves my hand when I'm driving. And we got the new shifter. I don't know if I'm a fan of this or not, but it's kind of cool. So park is now a button, and then the little shifter thing is basically a one finger thing. Kind of cool. It stays out of your way, so you have almost more room here. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the interior that's changed. Like the drive select is over here. You have some parking sensors and assist and a bunch of stuff I don't care about. On the steering wheel, you have these buttons. This one is basically drive select, and this one is performance mode. So on this one, if you look at the cluster, basically you can switch through all of the different drive modes, but they each have a different cluster for them. So this is the performance one, the one that most of us are going to care about. And I always drive my car in dynamic and sport, my S6. So I thought I'll put this one in performance and sport. It's too aggressive. Like I can't drive it that way all the time. So I drive it in dynamic and sport just like I would any other Audi. In the dynamic mode with sport, it's the only way I really drive it. It's aggressive enough, but you can still daily drive it. When it's in performance mode, like the only time I would put it on performance mode is like this situation where I'm on a back road like this, which this isn't the greatest back road for it, but anytime that I know I'm gonna get down on it is when I would do that. And like I said, it's very aggressive. It will hold gears out to about 5,000 RPM. But if you're in the regular dynamic mode, which this thing has so many different modes, it's hard to even just switch through them quickly. It can also be tamed, but it turns on when you need it to. When I was looking for one of these, a lot of people told me, because of how I am, nothing ever has enough power, they told me to get the 8V because it's more modifiable. The 8V is great if you want to go in straight lines. That's not what this car is. This is an awesome daily driver, but also if you want to track it, which is what I intend to set this car up for, it's hard to beat this thing. Like, I mean, it handles phenomenal. And that's, if you want a daily driver that handles great, get an 8Y, specifically the 2025. If you want a straight line car, get an 8V, of course. My last Instagram video made a lot of people mad because I was launching it at 58 miles. We can argue about this later, but you don't need to baby a car for 1,000 miles to break it in. So we're gonna drive this thing how it's meant to be driven. And later, we'll do an entire video just dedicated to driving it. So for right now, this is all you get. Of course, all this driving is done in Mexico. At the end of the day, everybody that has been hating on these cars, none of them have driven the car, I can assure you. As someone who did not like this car, didn't want to get it at first, I went and test drove one, checked it out. I was blown away by the performance of this car. And it takes a lot to impress me. But it is the best RS3 ever made. It is one of the best stock Audis I've ever driven. The only thing I could compare it to is like literally an R8 handling wise. It's just a great car. Like, it is fantastic. And if you still hate on them after this, you hate the grille, you hate the steering wheel, shut up and go drive one. You'll feel different about it.